Show is a show about knowledge, a show about information, a show where we arm you, the artist, with the tools needed to navigate your way through the music business, the business of music. Sit back and relax and listen. This is the Reggae Business Talk Show on Stockade Promotions Radio. The information given on this radio program is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Information given on this radio program is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice.
Greetings everybody and welcome to the Reggae Business Talk Show. I'm Chris Hills and I'm stepping in as moderator today as General Culture is tied up with other important matters, but he will pop his head in if he gets a chance. So I've got the bleeper at the ready, scientist.
Yeah, I'm here.
And I'll pass over to our panel to introduce themselves. And we'll start off with the scientist.
Hey, I'm the scientist. I'm your musical warrior advocating for artists' rights, and I'm here to serve you once more again.
Thank you. And Rudy? Rudy, are you there? We've lost Rudy for a moment. We're having a few
Rudy. I think Rudy was trying to connect. Rudy, do you know?
No, we've not got him. Maureen? Lady G?
Yes, sir.
We're short of a few people. We're still trying to connect, so talk away.
Yes, and bear with us. Welcome to the Reggae Business Talk Show. I am Lady General, and I'm a part of Stockade Promotions Radio, Stockade Records. And I also have a show on Stockade Radio that I do from time to time. I was going to call it my old show back in the 90s. The Vintage Vibes Show, okay? And I'm also a paralegal by profession and a licensed realtor in the state of Florida.
Well, thank you, Lady G. We're missing Fitzroy, and Fitzroy was meant to do the first part of the show, which was a recap on what we covered last week, or last time we were on. When we get hold of him, we'll introduce him, but we'll move on to the other main part of the conversations today, and I'll allow scientists to introduce it, where we're going to talk about unity in the business. Scientist, you there?
Yes. The importance of artist unity is key and is one of the missing elements from reggae. We hear a lot of talk about one love, but we really need to show the one love by artists sticking together. Things has become very jealous, selfish, and is always me instead of we, and is not good for any one artist or any one person to stay in the spotlight too long. You'll wear out your welcome, and you'll for sure get your jerry curls burnt up under the spotlight. So,
Oh, we've got Doozer.
yeah,
Doozer, you with us?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm here.
Dudes is here.
Ah,
Um,
did you want to introduce yourself, Doozer, before we move on? Seem to have lost him again.
yeah,
Scientist.
yeah. So we need more unity and in the business, and we need more artists working together and networking together to share the knowledge. What I've found is you have a bunch of selfish artists. They won't pass on the information. They're keeping it to themselves. Like example, one artist might know about copyright publishing, and they won't tell the next artist about it because it's a me. You know, oh, why not tell the other artists about it?
That's
You can't collect the other artist's money. So Doozer is here again. Doozer, you want to introduce yourself so we can move on?
yeah. Sorry about that. Just busy, but yeah, W here. But you talk about the unity, in the disunity in reggae. It's a really big thing because even if a producer knows about some stuff, he'll keep it from the artist. Sometimes certain producers,
Vice versa, the artist will keep it from the
exactly
next
from the
artist.
producer.
Yeah.
There you go, the artist or the studio won't let the producer know what's really going down, or the producer won't know. It's just it basically, and everybody right now expects you to back them, and yet nobody want to back you. That's the one thing I see in reggae right now more than any other place. Like every other country, reggae or rock, every other music, they'll kind of back each other, even jazz. But it's like within reggae, nobody really want to back each other. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really want to say, "Yo, I support you if you support me." It's
Yeah.
only like, "I want you to support me," nobody else.
Yeah, well, what we're seeing, yeah, people go as far as to come to court to falsify information and perjure themselves. And there is lack of unity in reggae where everybody talk about this one love, one love, one love. But I can tell you, living in Jamaica and dealing with I really didn't see any one love. I see all hate. Is Roddy there with us?
He's still trying.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with our connection today. But
Scientists.
yeah, but there is need for more artists working together. Like example, you find that an artist might have X amount of dates, 50 dates or whatever. Um, Find a veteran artist. Request that artist can be the opening band or opening act for the show, because a lot of time the promoters have opening acts. So a lot of time the artist on tour can request an next artist as the opening act. But what we have going on here is this is jealousy, me, we. Because hey, I face it. I
Yeah,
face it.
that's true. Like even certain bigger names right now, they only bring out a certain crew with them, the
Well,
same headliners every tour because it's their crew.
well,
But you should be bringing a veteran artist back out who are sitting there left by themselves and say bring them back out on tour with you.
well, a part of it is insecurity. A big part of it is insecurity, because I tell you, I got treat myself as an engineer. I have more albums than most artists, and I worked
That's
on
true.
more record more than most artists. And I find I've been on a tour, and the amount of students that surround me that have my record. I was just the engineer. I personally don't like the spotlight. And at the end of the day, the same artist who I create the tour, I put the artist on the tour, and at the end of the day, the artist got so jealous. Oh, you have all these this, and then hey man, I really don't want to be in the spotlight. It just so worked out that I mixed all of you records, and I have more records to my name than most say, but I wasn't asking for the spotlight. And there is this unity where I find a lot of artists will just sell out the next artist just to be buddy with a certain clique of people. And trust me, and after they finish using you, they're gonna just flush you down the toilet like poo.
But don't you think that happens in other genres as well? Surely it can't only be happening in reggae.
It can't, but what we see
It's
is,
most prevalent in reggae, if I
y-
might step in.
yeah, what we do see in the other genres is they all come to each other's shows. In,
Yeah.
That's true. What about the angle of bringing on some of the local emerging artists?
Well, again, the sense of security, insecurity, and me, because hey, again, just I worked with okay, let me say it this way. I worked with international artists, named artists, and when the local band come on, the opening band come on, it make the international artists have to work hard. And as a result, a lot of times they get nervous, they get jealous, they don't want, and they go as far as to, it's like they'll come to me, hey, don't give them so much bass. Screw you. You're asking me to compromise your work, my work. So anytime you come on stage and it get the fullness, I don't know how to do such thing, but some of them go that far. And if they find that is an artist or someone in latter case like me could be a threat to them, then they build up all this thing around it, and it need more unity into reggae, because if all the reggae community come together and voice their opinion, it carries more weight than one individual. I tell you what, back in the 80s, I am BBC and tried to set a scale that musicians should not work below. And at the time, we were saying $100 per song. And to just get all the musicians them to be on the same page. I understand the technicality of it. Sometimes people hungry and they need to pay the bills. So if somebody can't give them $100 and then give them $50, they want to grab the $50. But hey, you're breaking the code, and then it only could last so much and no more, because the lack of unity.
Do you find that they promoters might be playing artists off against the others in that situation now?
Yes. Sometimes yes, because there's a bunch of gossip, a bunch of just BS politics, um, artists envy the next artist because next artist might buy ahead. But hey, I will tell all of you artists this, right? The spotlight is temporary.
That's and the thing is though, but you know the disunity too. Though I'll tell you, I worked with a producer not too recently ago, and it's just funny. As soon as I start really laying down to him what everybody's owed, and I said, "Did you tell how did you work it out with the singers?" And I said, "This is what's really should be done." And what about the publishing money? He just instantly get mad and get upset because he instantly knew there's money, there's something to be made, and he's not making it. And now I know what my rights are, and I'm trying to help him out, but he instantly thinks, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But see, that's the thing right away, is I'm trying to help a person out, and now he instantly comes to me and says, oh, well, I own it anyways, and I own the music, and da 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 da, and he gets an attitude right away, and I'm trying to help him out.
Well, here's what. Make no mistake about it. A bunch of these producers, they are dunce. Some of them can't even read and write.
Yeah, and that's the thing with, I'm not going to disrespect anybody, more famous producer who was used, they used him in a situation. It's a more famous producer got used. They probably didn't, the record company probably didn't tell him what was going on. And that's the case so many times. They probably never told the producer what was really going to happen when they got these masters
But
from
a
him.
lot, a lot of times, like again, and I can give an example. This is not hearsay, right? And I can give a example, because when I talk, I like to talk at a foundation, I have a basis. I don't like making blind statements, right? Example, Greensleeve Records and Henry Laws. This is what put Greensleeve on the map.
That's who I was referring to, but I didn't want to say it. That's exactly the truth right there.
This is what put Greensleeve on the map. Is my work put Greensleeve on the map along with Henry Laws. Prior to that, and again, we must mention Jalife, the one
And that's what I was going to say.
that's trying to keep out of it.
Yep.
Right. If anybody doubt my word, please to show something that predates that history that Greensleeve had this success. They didn't have any success until that after that. After that time, that is when they blew up. What happened? Chris Cracknell and Chris Cedric, they didn't do any business. They are themselves are some dummies. Two guys, not to disrespect that two guys in a record shop can't be smart people, but these are buffoons.
And that's the thing too, is not only did they set themselves, then they made themselves out to be the most famous and the most legit record company in reggae, but their whole company was set up of Life's work, and they did not explain to Junjo what was going to happen when
No,
he gave them the masters.
well again, Junjo cannot read or write.
And there you go.
This is his first records, first of the record. He knows nothing about the business side of it. He's a talent scout that goes out and find artists. Right? Is technically a way you call it a executive producer. And again, the way our executive producer is defined is the guy who pay for the session. I think Fitzroy is here. The guy executive producer is the guy who pay for the session, right?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Fitzroy. Yeah. So
Greetings, family.
yeah. We have Fitzroy here with us now.
Did you want to take a break and let Fitzroy do his review of the last show?
Yeah, that's what I was going. Let's close on this and I will go up Fitzroy pick up from where we left off. But to close on the point is because of the lack of unity, and the next person doesn't want to educate the next person to what they know. You find somebody like Henry Laws technically got ripped off because he didn't know. And then what we have going on here is these scumbag attorneys who are assisting their clients in committing fraud. So let's close on this and see if we can bring
let's go on to Fitzroy. But if we can also, when we come back on this, is show some examples of positive unity where it has occurred with people working together and producing something at the end of it as well.
Well, yes. Well, one of the positive thing to this is what we do now because we sharing our experience with
exactly. If we can also bring that into the conversation, it would be good to get a positive angle. Fitzroy, you ready to go? Welcome.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, man. I'm here.
You're very low.
You sound like you're far from the mic, not in position in his mouth properly. You hear Fitzroy? Yeah, but it sounds like the mic is at the side of your mouth, and it sounds dull.
No, the mic is right. What a minute.
You're good.
Yeah, now?
Yeah.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah.
Did you want to introduce yourself and move on to the review?
As you know, this is Fitzroy Francis of Mindful 13 Records, producer, songwriter, road manager, / record label, etc., etc. And, welcome to the Reggae Bee Show, Good afternoon, all the listening public and the wonderful panel and staff online. General Stackett, get well quick. Mr. Roddy Campbell, get your name right today. Lady General Chris Boozer, and the legendary scientist.
The mic gone again.
As last week, you're not hearing me?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you so much for getting thank you so much for getting my name right today. Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Hi, Rudy.
Yes, Roddy. I'm glad to have you here. Yeah, we're talking about having Fitzroy continue for all the listeners who didn't get it last week. Continue before going to the main discussion. We were left off on set list.
Was talk about the set list and the importance of a gross earning by a loss of gross earning rather by not submitting a set list. There was a very interested point where we raised the whole panel, knowing that it's very important to submit the set list after a performance because you can have a set list that you're gonna work, but due to time altercation, sometimes you have an hour to do, but maybe through time constraint, you have to do maybe 45 minutes, so maybe few songs have to drop off. So you don't want to give a promoter a set list that it's not compatible to what you do live, So very important you submit a set list after your performance.
Can you explain to people what a set list is for those that have not heard the term before, Fitzroy?
And why they should submit the set list?
Well, as you know, a set list is a list of songs that an artist is gonna perform for a concert or a show. It's a list of songs, maybe 10, 15 songs at a current time. It's also important that a set list must be submitted because it is a gross earning for artists and the musician, because sometimes artists performing renditions of people's songs that artist or that musician need to earn from. So by not submitting that set list, it's depriving a person from earning.
I explain to them where the money come from.
Well, the money come from it's a performing royalties. It's a performing royalties. Because promoter, when you work a show up, when a promoter pay you to perform a song to entertain patrons, they should pay your affiliated company who you link with by submitting your set list. That company, you should be paid from them.
Yeah, but Fitzroy, I see a hole here. You're saying that the band should submit the set list to the promoter, and is the promoter have to pay the fee, right?
Yes, the promoter have to pay the fee.
Yeah. But here's where the hole is, and here's what I do. The whole is the promoter sometimes want to evade paying the money, and he won't turn in the set list to whoever he's supposed to turn it in. So what I do, I turn it in myself.
Which is very important too. So you can submit it to him and still have a copy of your submission sent to your affiliated company or your collecting agent.
Yeah, and if he doesn't comply with what the law is, because I think you've been educated me that Jamaica now has the same thing.
Well, I don't know about Jamaica really, because the Jamaica part, the whole politics in Jamaica.
Yeah, I think it was Roddy. Roddy, you there?
But can update me on that, knowing that JCAP is doing, some work there. So hopefully I can be educated about what Jamaica is doing right now.
Could you bring us up to date? I
stand educated on that too.
Roddy, could you update us on what Jamaica or
Jacob? Yeah. Sorry everyone that technical issues at the start there. My name is Roddy Campbell. Station manager for Stockade Radio, singer, songwriter, and a whole heap of other things. Jacob has to get involved as far as set playlist is concerned. Hence, you have all the media houses in Jamaica. Basically, there's a lawsuit issued by Jacob to all the media houses in Jamaica based on this very subject, presenting a playlist. They're having a hard time doing it. Yes, we're talking about Jamaica. So Jamaica is heavily involved in it. And the reason for that is because Jamaica is being pressured now by outside entities from Canada, the USA, Europe, and other places. They are making headways. They're taking tiny steps because they're so far behind the rest of the world as far as protecting the rights, both publishing rights, royalty rights, and all the various rights that comes with the music industry. So it's a tedious thing for Jamaica, but they are trying to establish things like that. A simple thing as, and we talked about this on a couple of the other shows, a simple thing as we know in Jamaica that there's a dance everywhere. So as even dances now, they're anything that has to do with playing artist music publicly. If it's the music is even playing in the elevator in one of the hotels in Jamaica, they're going after that because they have no choice. They have no choice because they're being pressured by all the other entities from across the world. So to answer your question, Jamaica is making baby steps. Um, JCAP is doing the best they possibly can. And again, as I said, presently there is a lawsuit against just about every and any media houses you can think of in Jamaica at the present time.
Yeah. One clarification. Cause you say playlist. One for make the public know. Say a playlist is different from a set list. Cause a playlist is what radio,
Sorry.
DJs, sound system have to really present. Cause sometimes a
Sorry,
playlist
I'm
might
using
have.
the wrong term. It's a set list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
using the wrong term. So we're
Yeah.
talking about a set list.
No, but you're right. A playlist, a DJ, radio station, and sound operator should present a playlist because a
Hmm.
playlist is also a list of songs that played
it,
like a
it,
radio. No, it might have two
it's
hours. You're supposed to have a playlist of
Yeah,
all the songs that you played within that 2 hour and submit it
correct.
to JCAP so they can pay maybe how much artists they play during that. So you're very right. There's no, you're right.
it does the same thing. But here's a hole that I see. And again, I don't want anybody to think that I'm beating up on producers because a lot of them is not educated. But you have people like Sizzler been talking out about how producers registering the song to themselves. Now, if an artist don't know anything and the producer registered the song to himself, and the playlist is submitted, is going to be the producer collecting the artist money.
No, but the other thing too
No,
also is that the one thing we need to stress also, because as you guys know, I always bring back a lot of the responsibilities into the hands of the artist themselves because at the
Of
end of the
course.
day, everything starts with you, the artist. Everything starts with you, the artist. So as far as a set list is concerned, if you're an artist, have some inclination of what the laws or the rules of the game is, it is your responsibility as an artist. If you're going to perform somewhere and you have a set list, it is your responsibility to make sure that you submit that set list. If you're in Jamaica, submit it to JCAP. If you're in Canada, you submit it to SOCAN. If you're in the States, it's BMI or whoever you're with in Europe. So a lot of the responsibilities start with the artist. So you're going to submit two set lists, one to the venue or promoter, whoever it is. But before you do that, submit, cover your rear end, and submit that same list. Don't give the promoter one list and then give Jacob, for example, another list. The both list has to be the same thing, but submit it to your copyright company first. These are all things that you can do online.
Yeah, but again, the reason why all is happening, artists missing out on money that them should be earning is
That's right.
because they don't know, they're illiterate to what's going on.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, so it's
and
important.
scientists, you mentioned Sizzler, and I can tell you this. I wouldn't even like quote even Sizzler because Sizzler used to run a producer named Fatis Borrell, who's a gangster producer too.
Hmm.
And then him spend millions of dollars around Sizzlers and Capletons and that of these people. So Fatis Borrell, knowing that the money him spent maybe or allegedly go and register some of these songs, which says that a man will learn used to be a part of the royalty network, Franklin Wall, that Patrick Owell. He was also a collecting agent for Me Too, royalty network, that collect a whole $1,000 for producers, knowing that artists not register them song, but producer register it, as well Mr. Roddy Campbell said, it is the artist's priority to register his work. And
But
it begin again, scientists, as we said, in the studio, you're supposed to have the worksheet that outline, all right, what you write,
what
what
everybody's
I
work
write.
is, what every
Yes.
yeah,
And that is where it begin.
yeah, it begin exactly right there, fits right. But here's what I'm saying to the artists who don't know what me and you know. right? And to the
And the
producers
producers too.
and the producer who doesn't know,
And the engineers too.
and I
A lot of
believe
engineers produce, I know.
yes, but they don't know what the rule is or how the game is played. And to the producer who believes because this been gospel that well I spend my money and I own, he's going to register the song because to himself because he think he spend the money and he own them. And the
Well,
artist
as you
the
know, in
artist
Jamaica, this is our norms from Coxodad's days, who, as a BBC and say, register everybody thing under scotch, and then people don't know until them go out there and find, say,
But
oh, where's,
hey,
who's this man, you know?
can I say
So,
one thing here too?
go.
If you go into your company, you gotta it'll say Q sheet for to if people are looking and say I don't see where it says worksheet. There's a place right in ASCAP, BMI, wherever you go, and it'll say Q sheet. If people are looking for it, we might be calling it a worksheet, but it's a Q sheet in their terms, and you can actually download them right from their site, I believe.
yeah yeah. You should post that information. But getting back to Fitzroy point. I don't know how much time we have left on this subject.
You can
No,
go for
well, wrap up
15.
you
Just
can
go
just
for
5 minutes
we're
more and
okay.
then can proceed.
Yeah,
You can
but
take 5 minutes in this and subject and proceed, because I want to come on the line, what you were saying, I want to catch up on that too.
yeah. But from what you were saying, or what we've been saying, the whole thing boiled down to education, and it is why we're here because since the
Honesty, bro. And honesty, individual honesty,
well,
because
yeah,
some
it's part of what we've been talking about
even the educated people them are very dishonest. That's why
with the loyalty and the need for unity and the lack of unity within the business. Because as we're saying, Fitzroy, the most important ingredient is honesty. Some people, I don't know them can do these things and go to them bed at night time and sleep with themselves, knowing that you're just a scumbag. You know, in this temporary world that is anywhere from 1 second to the average lifespan of what 100 and something year, that's a blink in the eyes of the earth, and he doing all this unscrupulous thing just for a temporary lifestyle. Damn. Yeah. So
Should we
the whole thing boiled back
just
to
sum
education.
should we sum up at this point, and when instead rather than talking about past practice, is this the main points that are being made there? Is the first thing is that every artist needs to be part of their license royalty organisation and register their work, because they can't raise a set list unless the work is registered with them anyway.
Yes.
And the second thing after they've registered their work is to make sure that they pull the set list examples off of their royalty company to use for whenever they do a live show.
Yes. Yes.
And just to piggyback on a point that Chris just made a while ago, in terms of artists might be listening right now and hear us talking about the set list. Um, Before you even, and I'm speaking directly to the artist, them know, is that you have to be a registered member. You've got to be a registered
the
member.
musicians too have to be a
E-
registered member.
Any and everybody who is involved in the music have to be a registered member. And the reason why I brought that point up, I think it was either in 2013 or 2012, JCap collected to the tune of $180 million, and 65% of it was paid out to foreign companies, because Jamaica play more foreign music than reggae music. For the life of me, I don't know how that came about. The rest of it was paid out, and I'm talking about performance royalties and all the different royalties was paid out. The rest of it was paid out to registered members of JCAP. So, as what Chris said earlier, and this is why I will continue as long as I'm on this program, will remind artists, go and register yourself, go and register your works, go and register your music, because say for example, JCAP can't do anything for you. If you go to JCAP and complain about you not getting any royalty, the first thing JCAP is going to do is look into their database and see, okay, are you a member? If you're not a member, you don't have an argument. So this is why I will continue to stress for artists to go and register your works, because JCap or whichever entity or company you're with will go out on your behalf to deal with and secure what your rights are. Register.
Yeah,
That's where it starts.
yeah, Ruddy. I agree with you 100% that artists need to register, but I don't know if anybody thought about this. Um, they probably need to change the law, right? Because 9 out of 10 times, a whole bunch of artists they're not listening to the show and they're not getting the education. They get up, them find or a mom might find that she have a child that's a star. The mom herself don't know anything about the business. She stumble upon somebody in the business who can produce. She don't know what she sign in. The child don't know what them signing. I think them need to tweak the law and set in place the default values where
Hmm.
where even if there's because it's pretty much that way. Even though there's no contract, the default value is this, and put a clause in it that the producer must comply with this order X amount of days after the record is on the street or is finished. Must do it. If the producer don't do it or the record label don't do it, then they are in violation of X. Because you see, this is how you would prevent the people who didn't listen to the show, have no experience whatsoever. They just find a wake up in the morning with a song and they stumble upon somebody who is a producer. Might be an honest producer, but might be a dishonest person. So if the law set in place that says the producer has the responsibility to do this by X amount of days, for value has to be this, that the artist get this, and the default value for the artist sign away is publishing have to go in front of somebody like a third party, a way I call it a lawyer will advise the artists about what they're about to do. I think that would change the rule of the games and would put things back in the favor of the artists. Based on all the Berne Convention, right? That the only time you lose right is when you sign it away.
I think that's where it needs to go, scientists. The Berne Convention needs to be updated now, and those sort of rules need to be put in place there so that they're globally accepted. Do you not think?
Yeah, I
It,
think, as you said, the Berne Convention, because they are the one who has the muscle to enforce the new changes that after a record is produced, the producer or the label must do these things. If you
they've
don't,
also got the power over the royalty organisations
y- y-
being signed up to them.
Yes, yes. So probably what we need to do, when one of the things we need to do, we need to find a member of the Berne Convention to see if they would want to come on the show to explain our echo what we says, and we need to find ways how to make these mandatory steps that when you walk inside of a studio from day one, this is what needs to happen. This is what the law is. And there's ways how to educate producers and all because all pressing plants, you'd write it away that all manufacturing plants, before you manufacture, you have to give the producer this that informing what law is.
Yeah, but nowadays as well, it's not manufacturing; it's about releasing digitally. So those
The
rules need to
digital,
be in
you do it
place
the
there.
same way. They do it the same way, where the
Yeah,
digital distribution must mandate this. So if you're a producer and you're going to release something to a digital thing, they're going to inform you right away that that this is what the law is. You have X amount of time to complete this form.
I
And
think that's a really important point, and I think it goes. If we are going to close this part of the show and move over to Unity, because it naturally linking over, but I think it's just fair to say on Fitzroy's subject of set lists that one of the major problems that needs to be cleared up is that the money that's paid out for set list royalties comes from the venues being licensed, and if the venues that are being played at are not licensed, it's very similar to unlicensed radio. There won't be any royalty collection at all.
Right, right.
And Maureen and Lady G and myself were talking yesterday or today about maybe one of the future show subjects we should touch on is the difference between licensed and unlicensed radio.
Yes, yes.
Because it's very similar to the set list situation in live performances.
Well, it boils down to law enforcement. What artist, what musician is going to be against Fitzroy's set list theory? Who's going to do it? And the only person who is not going to like it is a person who has to pay the money. Everybody who's on the collecting end will like it.
Exactly.
Well, I can assure you that no promoter or venue right now cannot keep a show unless they are licensed, because with the whole changes what's going on in the industry and the whole taxation, because when the revenue board really connect to promoters, they want money. So if you're not licensed, then you can't keep a show. Just like what's going on in Jamaica with JCap, If a promoter is not licensed, then he can get I call a document really from the KCC to keep a dance or a show or a radio or whatever,
You don't get the license to keep
it. He cannot. He would not grant it. So if you're not legally licensed, then you can't keep a dance or a show, because there's earning from what you're doing, and people can't just grant you things to make money just for you run off.
It's actually 2 licenses that they need. They now need one from the police department.
Okay.
Because now the police can go in now and shut down any venue if they don't have a license. You see, the thing is that people will say, Jamaica is this and Jamaica is that, Jamaica is this. Jamaica is a third world country who is trying to be on par with the rest of the world as far as legal issues are concerned, where now music is concerned. This is not the 50s or the 60s or the 70s or the 80s anymore. Jamaica has to comply. I want to read something very quickly. As a Jamaican Association of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, JCAP continues to take urgent steps to deal with the vexed issue of non-compliance. The Office of the United States Trade Representative, USTR, has issued its annual report naming Jamaica as one of the rogue countries which will remain on a special 301 watch list, and citing inadequate payment of public performances royalties as a reason for the country's retention. In its annual report, May 1st, the USTR sends a stern warning to foreign governments to ensure that adequate copyright payments are made when U.S. musical compositions are performed in TV and radio broadcasting, over cable systems, and in all other kinds of public performance. Now, that I just read is a whole long article. But if you turn that around now, and let's say this is Jamaica talking, Jamaica is doing the same thing. Let us not, kid ourselves. Jamaica is looking at the USA. Jamaica is looking at Europe. JCAP is looking at Canada and other places across the world, seeing where and when they can protect their artists, their registered artists.
Well, they have an interest. They have an interest because every time they collect,
they have no choice.
Yeah, but every time they collect, they'll be losing money if they don't enforce it or look. Because every time they collect a percentage of what they collect goes to JCAP to pay JCAP bills.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing also is that somebody's thing is making noise.
Is that you?
Here's the thing.
I don't.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, is that USA, Canada, and Europe for the most part is complying with Jamaica. The problem JCAP is having is Jamaica. That's where JCAP is having the problem. I just read an article recently where JCAP went and seized, along with the police, seized over how many million copies of bootleg CDs and DVDs. And they're in the process.
What genre, what artist?
from all Jamaican artists, Jamaican music.
Mm, mm.
That has been bootlegged on the black market, over I think a million and something copies,
Well,
which they're in the
I don't
process.
think an artist gonna be against that.
Well, they're destroying it. No, no. My point I'm trying to make is that Jacob is doing what they need to do to protect their artists. Again, as I say, it is not like the 50s or the 60s or the 70s anymore. Because JCAP has to comply. These networks, they have a database that they all deal with and they all go through. I'm talking about BMI and ASCAP and JCAP
Mm-hmm.
and SOCAN and the whole 9 yards. So what they're struggling with is trying to get all the media houses in Jamaica to comply, and all the different venues in Jamaica that do live performances of Jamaican reggae artists' music. That's where their struggle is.
Mm. Well, I don't, as I said, I don't know what artist on the collecting end is going to disagree with the law, because the law is out there looking out for them, protecting them.
That's
Um,
right. That's right.
GCAP have a monetary interest to do this also, because if they don't go out and enforce the law, then they won't get to collect the money. The only person that has a reason to be against it is the person who paying out. Well, you know what? Too bad for you. These artists need to get their money. And again, don't you mentioned that thing there, and we've been trying to fight this. Why does Jamaica pay so much foreign music and pay? So we couldn't understand that making the music in Jamaica. How we in the studio making the music, and you're not hearing them playing on the radio. Them playing
Mhm.
everything else. So it's better
Yeah.
them pay the Jamaican music, so the money can go back into the Jamaican artist pocket.
Can you imagine the
But
millions
but
of dollars?
Cyan,
The millions of dollars if Jamaican media houses were using Jamaican music, the amount of revenue
Of
Can I
course,
that
just
it would
can I
generate.
just interrupt at the moment? We're having a lot of crackling from your mic, scientist.
I don't know what is that. It's somebody who is. So I find somebody trying to hack in on my network that I will have to adjust my firewall.
but scientist,
Yeah.
you can remember say in Jamaica there was RGR and JB before even JBC, and if you play a Jamaican music on the airway in RGR one time, you would be fired.
Yes,
That's sad.
I
That's
remember
sad.
them time there.
JBC come with freedom strategy and trying to play Jamaican music. That's why even Barry G and them man that did come and I try to do them thing. And we see the
That's what I was
fight with
just
them
gonna
did.
say, Barry G.
Yeah,
That thing will
but
continue
again,
until
the next corrupted element to that is the payola, which is highly illegal.
Let me interrupt before we go on
it's
to
legal.
payola. Can we bring this
It's
to a
legal.
close and move to the main subject, guys?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we're going to be talking about unity. So we have some positive examples of unity as well, perhaps.
It is right now.
I can think of things such as people coming together to produce a charity record and things like that, where there is some positive unity.
Well, yeah, as we're saying, the business is lacking positive unity. I find that sometimes an artist might know, a promoter might know something, but they're very reluctant to share it with the next artist. And is more of a me instead of a we in reggae, and a bunch of it goes back to jealousy and insecurity. A major artist who is on tour has the ability to make a request to the promoter what he wants the opening band to be, but a bunch of these reggae artists, they sing about this one love thing, but I didn't really see any one love with most of them. Is mostly all hate, and me. I alone want to be in the spotlight, and there's this big jealousy that goes on amongst some of these artists, and they're not supportive of each other's concerts. You see them in a concert, and everybody wants to outdo the next artist rather than this collective thing like what we're trying to do. And one example of it is what we doing here. We take out our Sunday and we sharing our knowledge, because again, after the show, a lot of artists say, "Hey, I didn't know that I supposed to turn in a set list." Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're supposed to start turning a set list. So we need more of what we doing in the business, is sharing and make it a real one love.
I agree with you, and I guess everybody does. I mean, if we a couple of shows ago we had Raven Armani on, and she's one of those people that's trying to help others and also working closely with the schools so that the youngsters get that same education before they start on the path, and the positive results of that can be seen. But how do you get past the ego situation and get people to work with one another and support one another?
Is a part of human condition, It is very few people you can give power to and they don't abuse it. And I find one of the strongest thing, or one of the greatest accomplishments somebody could have, is you don't use might and beat right. We see the same problem in politics. You have influential people that have all this money, and then they pour on everybody else that's beneath them. Because of that, they're using might and beat right.
Well, it's an absolute replication of that situation, isn't it?
Yeah. Because you find, I don't want to call any names, but in most of the reggae, or some of the reggae artists, have come from very, very poor neighborhoods. And thank God for reggae, because without reggae, a whole bunch of them wouldn't nobody wouldn't hear about them. And, hey, including me. If it was for reggae, nobody will, you, Chris, or the people who listening now, they wouldn't know anything about me. Even though I didn't come from the poorest neighborhood in Jamaica, but I was around the poorest neighbor, one of the poorest neighborhood in Jamaica every day, and leave my uptown neighborhood to be one of the poorest neighborhood every day. It goes back. It go back to we need a unity base, and the human condition of able to control ego. And one of the good example of that is Bob Marley. The man never changed from day one. He was the same person from day one. A couple of times coming up, I myself have to check myself, because the human condition of the swelledness can get to anybody if you don't check yourself. Okay? If you want to be an excellent person, you have to first admit fault.
That's like I was gonna say about Marley though. It is a good point that after he passed, you saw a lot more disunity in all of reggae. I was talking to Junior Walker about that about a couple months ago. When Marley passed, that's not to say it wasn't there before. Of course, we had crooks and this and that, but a lot of more of reggae just kind of it separated, and it just really there wasn't that unity anymore. But going back to it too, to bring unity, sometimes you have to not step on toes, and you have to just humble yourself. What you're just saying, scientists. Sometimes people just don't know how to humble themselves. So I can say, talking with a lot of veteran reggae artists, you have to be careful with them. Some guys don't trust nobody. Some people are willing, but you just have to be. You have to give and take, and that's I think how unity really starts. You have to give, but you don't expect to just take. Just keep on giving and just hope. That, hey, if I try to help this guy out, maybe get him on something, we could get the project together, and you help each other out and say, hey, did you know about that? You should sign up for rights and cue sheets and worksheets. But a lot of people just don't want to hear it. They just think that, hey, I'm like you said, nobody has the ego to step down and say, yo, look how many people are above me and are better than me, but everybody want to be on top.
Well, here's what probably Fitzroy can echo this. Um, I find the bigger, and again, I want everybody to pay attention to this word, the sum. The bigger some artists get, is the harder it is to continue. Okay, here's what. We have this term in Jamaica we use, never see come see. Right? For those who ever watch Trading Places with Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
Right, where somebody who don't use none, all of a sudden everybody is saying yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. It's not everybody can contain that humbleness. Yeah.
On a
And the
more
next
serious,
Jamaica,
on a
next
more
Jamaica.
serious point now, sorry, Fitzroy.
Fitzroy.
On a more serious note, do you think that the lack of unity, the divide and conquer situation, has prevented reggae music becoming more mainstream?
Divide. So who wants to divide and conquer?
Well, when that's, I mean, we
Can,
who wants to divide and conquer? But do you think the lack of unity and working together to create a formidable
Well,
industry
well,
has
well,
prevented the music going mainstream the same
but
way that
but it
other genres have?
well, let me. The reason why I ask it, the who would want to divide and conquer, right? To find out, to trace the motive, and to answer your question, whoever is putting a divide and conquer rule in place is because there's a lack of unity. That's the only reason why you could have a divide and conquer.
well,
Uh,
but oh,
one
sorry.
of one of the reasons why reggae probably will never ever, or some of the lyrics rather would never make it to mainstream is based on the content of the lyrics and what it's saying.
But
You have to
that's what I was trying to
you have to
say.
also remember because Bob Marley faced the same problem where
Yep.
his records was forbidden to play in
Yep.
Kenya and certain places because of the lyric content and going to the not to stress on it. I don't want to. You're not talking about people's religion, but part of reggae. And the voice of reggae because hey, make no mistake about it, Jamaica was a slave country, and it was the only outlet, right, to tell the rest of the world what going on through music, right? A lot of it is relevant, and reggae is what confront the beast. Now, the beast who you might control a lot of things, are they going to allow you to broadcast to the public that you're bad Babylon system, bad? Hell no. But if you're singing about the boy blue and Jerry curls and all of that stuff there, you're most likely to break into mainstream.
Yeah,
But
but you
that's
could
what I was trying to
argue
say.
that. You can argue that, and that form of roots music with its messaging has got an audience of its own. But there's also a lot of reggae soul and a lot of lovers rock that's been produced over the years that hasn't managed to get into the mainstream.
Yes, yes. That's
But
why I said. That's why I said based on the lyric content. Why hasn't it not been able to get into the mainstream? One, a lot of reputable record companies won't want to touch it because you put out something, and by the time you know it, 50 different people showing up saying they are the owner.
but that's the thing though. To me though, is it's mainstream now though, because Jamaican music created hip hop in rap in America. It's
Mhm.
true. If you look at all the Grandmaster Flashes, all their relatives were Jamaicans. So it is mainstream, except they left certain elements out.
Yes, it going back to what we're talking about. The one, the lack of unity. There's no
Yeah.
really no business in reggae. It's more of a sport.
Scientists, we've got massive feedback on your mic at the
I
moment.
don't know what the hell wrong going on because I'm sitting in the same position doing the same things. We don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's anticipating bleeping.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But the thing is though, going back to it though, Jamaican music gave everything to American to mainstream music right now in the world is the bad boy image, and that's what Jamaica loved. They loved the money. They loved Yellow Man. Why you think Yellow Man and all those guys got signed to American record labels? And as soon as they saw that, all the kids in America wanted to do the same thing. So it's not that it didn't make it into mainstream. They just took what they wanted, and now that's a bad boy image. The guns, the money, the girls.
Make no mistake about this, you know. If you should go to any prison and you say, I start to develop a pattern between crimes, the inmates, and the type of music that they listen to. Right? And you find everybody who is in American prison for drive-by shooting, they're mostly listening to hip hop. Right?
Yep.
You find most of Jamaica problems start right with the influence that artists have on the public with the type of lyrics that they're putting out. Back in time in Jamaica, we used to have a vote. I don't know if Fitzroy remember this. Fitzroy, anybody remember where your song will get booed on the air if it didn't have certain lyric content?
Yeah, there was policies. The broadcast union used to have policies where a song have to be played in front of a panel before it even go on air. But all these things just thrown out the window. And I want to really emphasize on the unity, the lack of unity. There's all this conspiracy theory in our industry from before. 'Cause remember Jamaican music derived from even American music.
Yeah.
Because a lot of even Bob
R&B, yeah.
Marley and the Wailers and these group, they used to sing a lot of Oral Melvin and the Blue Notes and
Yep.
Studio
and
Studio
New
um,
One
a
wrote
Orleans
lot of
stuff. Yep.
a
Studio
lot
One
of
wrote catalog.
American music is
Mm.
what you influence the scat era, the rocksteady era. A lot of
That's true.
people use the melodies and
That's true.
infusing reggae. So
Yep.
when even reggae come around with Bob Marley and Black Hole and Burning Spear, then it changed. One of the greatest defeat our music got. It's not because that Bob Marley, although was saddened by it, but it create a waymark that there is a music that is potent. Then was the Black Hole come and then it break away because was the Michael Rose them mash up the group and this solidarity then will become one of the biggest divide because these brethren that talk about solidarity, they living apart. One live at east, one live at west. So the whole unity of the music break away and it's fall apart. In the same time you have the slang thing era that come and then the whole gun culture and well if a jugs man start invest in the music. 'Cause this is one of the biggest downfall of our music. The money laundering era in the music in the 80s, where a lot of our virgins from Jamaica come off America, come sell them drugs or hustle, start investing in the music, then they
That
educated,
that
them start the fame and the ego, them hype up all of our artists to be famous. And it gone through the window.
Well,
You
well,
know,
You can suggest that in Britain as well around that period, not necessarily
it
as
can,
extreme, but if you think
that's
about
all.
it logically, the way that reggae was sold through little record shops, which weren't the mainstream shops, so it wasn't getting in the charts, it wasn't getting recorded as sales properly, and there was also a lot of backhand deals done, whether it's the small record shop not wanting to pay tax or whatever. It's all this lack of unity and not having an industry that can present itself to mainstream properly.
yeah, I would agree with you, Chris. But imagine back in England, them time there, you come out to that song, "Burn Down Babylon Business," blah blah. British hold us with a slave, as slaves, blah 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 blah. You see BBC playing that music.
No, but there was an alternative in Britain at that time. There was an alternative at
There
that
was
time.
not, or there was.
There was an
To
alternative at
the
that
to,
time.
yeah, well, you're right because you had that whole lovers rock thing that didn't get played either.
No, but there were certain music forms that did upsurge. You've got the spin-off in punk,
Hmm.
and you had the revival of Blue Beat and Two Tone, but they all seem to be centered around major record labels that already had the deals with the BBC. I mean, you can't. Probably the biggest
Uh, uh,
group was
uh,
Police, wasn't it? In that respect,
okay,
where they raped reggae, and but
okay.
you know,
I got to touch on a sensitive subject that most people keep pushing under the rug. But when you keep putting a band-aid on a sore that needs serious antibiotic, it only going to fester they're going to get cause the wound to just get more infested. And again, this is a very sensitive subject, and I want to everybody to acknowledge the some word, some, right? And here goes a sensitive subject. Racism is a part of it, right?
yes,
Some people still racist, and not saying
yes,
all, because you have positive. Yeah, I can show you many positive aspect of where two set of people look differently, and it's showing you that is not everybody racist based on them deeds, because you have interracial marriage, whereas if the person was racist they wouldn't get married to the opposite person. But I find, especially in my field, there's a lot of racism because a lot of people not used to seeing somebody like me from an island with all this experience. And some, I want everybody to pay attention to the word some. Some of the people work with you, and the only thing you get from them is love and respect. And some of the people is just haters.
I think that's very true. I think it is very true. I mean,
Hmm.
you can't get away from it, and we shouldn't shrug away from it either, because there was a lot of racism in the big playing people like the BBC and that. But then you've got to look at the alternative. When you mentioned hip hop, that's been turned around and used to advantage by breaking up the communities and causing all the problems. So if it's got a negative message in it, it's getting support. But if it's got a positive message, it's not getting supported at all.
But
Yes,
that's
yes.
can I say something a different way? I remember when a lot of kids who weren't, when kids from different cultures started coming in reggae, that was different for some people. I understand. Like a lot of Spanish kids love reggae now.
Yeah, yeah, but here's what the next part of it too. You can blame racism a part of it, but to be honest, if you're trying to fix the problem, some of it is the same musician them and artists. Some of the most difficult set of people to deal with.
Yeah.
Is big part of the problem, and then you wonder how comes a little white band get up and you find them, hey, because they're not giving any problems.
Eh, eh.
Well,
Right?
if we should kind of define what what the really what the word unity in the reggae business or reggae industry as far as Jamaica is concerned. Myself being a Jamaican and now living in Canada for almost 16 years, there's a huge, it's like night and day as far as people working together in unity. What has destroyed reggae music in Jamaica is when the competition started. Once the competition started between artists on stage, artists
And
on
sound
different
system.
shows,
True,
and the sound system.
true.
Once,
Yeah, I
because I
know
remember
that.
growing up, I grew up as a kid in Jamaica back in the 60s as a baby, and in the 70s and the 80s, and I used to see how artists, used to work together in
True,
unity.
true,
And then there came an era when the competition started. And
true
the
sound.
competition,
True.
people competing again, sound system competing against each other, which nothing is wrong with that. But
Yeah.
it went to a different level. And once it went to the other level, that competition,
Destroy
that
the unity.
word competition is what has destroyed our
It,
music. It is what has destroyed our industry. And it's still to this day continue. There's artists right now who can't go over certain borderline because of the last Sting concert,
True.
right? And as long as that remain in our music, the word competition, as long as we continue to compete with each other in a negative way, because competition is healthy. It's a healthy thing because it can push you as an artist to
Of
raise the
course.
bar and raise your level of performance or raise your level of songwriting or music playing or recording or producing or engineering. But when the competition part of it got deadly, artists die. People die in Jamaica over this thing called reggae music.
that in America too. What do you think led to all those people getting shot in hip hop and reggae and rap
Well,
coming from
again,
reggae? The roots
again, but
or coming
what
from
they're
that.
mimicking and
Yeah,
where
that's what I'm saying.
the mimicking. This here's what I hear from Junior Reid. I have them point it out. Him say that the positive reggae it won't reach anywhere. It won't reach anywhere in Jamaica because you confront the system. Them want the boom boom, the degrading lyric, and this is what them pushing on the people to demoralize them, and it's part of the reason why Jamaica have the problem we have. And one of our subject that we're talking about is the aspect of good songwriting.
Mm.
Right. When you listen to most of the lyrics, them you hear one song is like you hear the rest of them.
Yeah, we're
The
going
other,
to
the other,
cover that on another show, though. We've
Yeah.
got that
because
planned for later on.
the other problem with this subject we're talking about in as far as the lack thereof and we're not saying it's like it's all artists and everybody doing,
No.
don't misunderstand us. We're not saying that. But as long as Jamaica continue to go the direction it's going now, as far as this vicious competition between each other. It is going to continue to kill the music. Here's the problem 5 years from now if it doesn't change. Reggae music is going, and it has already started. Reggae music is going to become so much bigger on the outside of Jamaica than it is on the inside of Jamaica.
Of course, it's happening right here in
And
California.
it is I listened to an artist a couple days ago who is from Hawaii. And I closed my eyes and I listened to this artist and I said to myself, wow, Jamaica is coming out with some really good music. And I went and did some research and I was shocked that this artist is born and bred in Hawaii. There's an artist by the name of Lupa. The other Jamaican artists have given this gentleman such a fight. He's of Italian descent or Italian background. He lives in the States. And he's gotten. I live in Canada here, and the unity between artists and musicians and producers is just so wonderful to see. And when I look at Jamaica, and I'm thinking to myself, this rich music, this vibrant country with people of talent oozing out of our ears, and a lot of it is just raw, natural talent. And we cannot unite together to make this thing called reggae music become a force in the world.
Because of the word from you say, as you said, once a dancer, things start.
Competition.
But that's how
That negative competition has got to come out of reggae music, because if it doesn't, it's going to kill it.
It have to come out, and here white have to come out. It will kill the business.
I wouldn't say reggae music, you know. That's it's dancehall music, because the dancehall music right now it's.
Well, yes, Fitzroy right, because the competition started from the dancehall music.
Yeah,
But prior to the dancehall music,
Evolution of this dancehall era created a lot of this unity.
and is the number one reason for most of the problems in Jamaica.
Scientists, again, the conspiracy theory, the political influence.
Well, that's part of it too, because you see, as Junior Reid point out, the political part of it that them use the music to get to the people. Right, and when them figure out the strength that reggae have behind it can organize, then them use it for bad thing. But you see, again, it going back to the artists, them not uniting. You see the divide
and yet still them sing about it every day.
Yeah, the one love this one.
That's what baffles me all the time. They sing about it every day.
Well, you know something.
Scientists members a lot of artists when them done fun and go back to them, because them have fans and sometimes fans lead them. Boy, who you got on, you're better than them, boy, and then you guys stepping and they get up.
Yes.
Pull away from the show, a oneness. Some of them run with that eye. You realize that since this reggae revival, you realize that Chronix don't have it in Jamaica. He's not even getting the amount he play in Jamaica.
Why?
That is so sad.
Why?
Answer. Well, tell me. I'm just because in Jamaica, right now, see, there is that alkaline or gauge or them don't want this positivity come because them know where it is leading to.
Well, again, going back to what Junior Reid echo, once them figure it out. Look here. Here's what happened. When Michael Manley and Edward Seaga, when Bob Marley make them two worst enemy shake, and both of them was letting off rocks in them pants. Because the only one that come and did that. Then them figure out, then shit, if Bob Marley become president, because he would have become prime minister if he never get.
And if I never Marty my planner, Bob Marley will never do it because Bob Marley is afraid to do it.
Who encourage
Marty my planner.
The head of Rasta.
Right.
So get Michael Manley and say Bob Marley say him can't do it, I'm not do it. You know, remember them shoot up Bobby now.
Right. Because what? It was too positive and was preaching too much unity and it was organizing the people there.
But the Rastafari principles, anti-establishmentism, anti-colonialism, you know, it was a response to what's going on, to slavery and all these things.
Of course. And Bob Marley was spreading that unity.
The dancehall culture now come with the muggling, the hype, the materialism, the gunism, the badmanism, and that's what most of the sponsors them today is they behind the music, you know. Every man want them rum for sell and them liquor for sell.
but
A lot
Fitzroy,
of things.
look at what happened to Jamaica since that time. Just look at it before when it was rock steady. When it was rock steady before it went just coming to reggae. You know, you could have sleep with your front door open. You never have all the chaos going on. As soon as this culture come into Jamaica, what 1980, 85? When Jamaica 1980 election was the worst election
Yeah,
Jamaica had,
1980s.
the bloodiest. Then
Yep.
if you look on the graph, when the type of music take off and what started happening in Jamaica, then you can see what before it was preaching unity, it was bringing the people them together. But
That's right.
somebody came in and said, "Hey, this thing here will get rid of us because here is
What
it."
I think happened, I think it was the introduction of cocaine.
That's
That
I was
That's
going to
too.
when
say that a while
Yeah,
that's
ago.
when
yeah,
things
That's
yeah.
everybody
started to
knows
go
that from New York
downhill.
to Miami.
Yes, yes,
If
yes,
it turns
yes,
out
I
that
can
was
yes.
tell you,
introduced it,
I can
it
tell you,
messed up everything.
I can tell you exactly where this unity starts in Jamaica. It starts with the politics,
Yes, this
because
motherfucker.
every time there's an election in Jamaica, the country split in two,
Yes.
families split in two, neighborhoods split in two. When election time come, if you wear orange or you wear green, you can't cross certain street.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
And
and that's true.
and
And
then it
listen,
came along, and it's kind of like monkey see monkey do, because
yeah,
now at some point the politics create such a stink in Jamaica, such a disunity in Jamaica, that at some point it got into our reggae music. And as Fitzroy said, the dance, because I grew up at the dance hall. I used to sneak out as a kid when I lived down in Waterhouse, down at Olympic Gardens. I used to sneak out, go listen to King Tubby's Tune Up the Steel on all the time. I've been around Jack Ruby sound system for over 20 something years. And the unity in the dance hall at that time was one of such that your parents would say, well, go on, because they know you'd be safe. Then
yeah,
came along things like Sting. Now keep the trailer thought going. It started with the politics. And politics in Jamaica has separated people in such a way and creates such a disunity amongst Jamaicans that nobody trusts anybody anymore.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
then
yeah,
it came over into the music. It was in reggae, quote unquote reggae, but it was being done or written in a different way. And then came dancehall, and everything just
But
exploded in the 80s and the 90s. It
yeah.
is like a huge 360-degree turn,
But
where I cannot for the life of me understand as a Jamaica, why is it we can't unite?
well,
yeah,
but look at the beneficiaries for the people them who would cast as Chris said, the divide and conquer. Who is benefiting from this? Who was
Who's
ben-
dividing and who's conquering? That's my
Yeah,
question.
well, that's why I ask him. When you look at the motive, it go right back to the politics because everything was on its way. It would have become an industry. But
Yeah.
once dancehall get introduced, because remember now, when you're talking about dancehall, if you're talking about Jah Love,
Hmm.
right? And time people got there, it was more of a cultural dance, and
Right.
it was a different thing. But when certain sound system come out, and the bling bling come out, and then certain sound system every time them play, the police have to go out there because they're going to be picking up bodies. That is
but
when
that's
everything went upside down.
Hmm.
but that's exactly Tubby's in them. And like I said, I talked to some people who used to live in Waterhouse, grew up in the 50s. They say, even the 40s, they say you could leave your door unlocked in Waterhouse in the 40s, in the
Oh yeah.
50s. And then by the 60s and the 70s and by the 80s, you have to put gates on your door.
Oh, you call it gates. They're called burglar bars.
Burglar bars, yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying. And the thing
Yeah.
is, that's Waterhouse. You could see it too. And you can also see too. A lot of people who got caught up in it were also defending their neighborhoods. We talked about this, I think, maybe on the show, maybe not. But a lot of people got caught up in it because now you have to defend your neighborhood. You
The
really do, because
question,
they would come in and do anything at that point, and so now people in Waterhouse have to pick up a gun because they're defending their family sometime. You know.
the question now, is we've talked about the negatives. How do we change this? How does it change? Because it has got to change. It has got to change, because it breaks my heart to see as a Jamaican how this music, this great, great music, it's kind of like Jamaica. never embraced. I used to work in the hotel, and we used to sing Bob Marley music every night, every single night, because the guest them from abroad was asking for it. And you'd never hear Bob Marley music play on the radio
No,
in Jamaica. And the moment Bob Marley died, all of a sudden Jamaica started to call
that's what
him
I was
a
just going to tell you.
That's and
son
then you
of the
want to use
soil.
it for tourism
Well,
songs and
this
stuff.
is what I
Yeah.
was just going to tell you. Is after Bob Marley dead, I realized that I didn't know it's him sing all them songs there. 'Cause in Jamaica, you don't hear no Bob Marley play, and everybody believe that that Jamaica everything is Rasta and Bob Marley. No, that's a myth.
But as you know, as Fitzroy just said a while ago, I mean, you look at the now sensation in Chronics, and it doesn't have a number one song in Jamaica. That to me is like, like seriously. I mean, seriously, I don't get it. I just don't
Well,
get it.
again, going back to the people who is here's what happening. Somebody decide that them not paying somebody, which is the radio station them, because they first of all you're paying to get your radio the thing play that's illegal, right?
Yeah.
What's the reason why he don't have a number one? Why? Because his song not playing on the radio, right? Why is his song not playing on the radio? Who did he piss off or who he didn't pay? All right, and when you examine those reasons, what is it not in alliance with or in connection? Well, girl, your body look good, your body look ready. How long are you think a song like that gonna last? It ain't gonna last more than 6 months.
Yeah.
After a while, people don't want to hear about that. So why Chronic don't have a number one song when he's so talented? Is
And he has number one songs all over the rest of the world.
why? It's because of politics. It's because of lack of unity, bad-minded. Him don't decide to pay somebody. Him in control and business. This is when them say you're overqualified.
Yeah,
You
but
know
that's
what's the reason? And
it,
when you look at the only reason is he not paying somebody the first thing.
Oh
He
yeah.
he more than qualified, and his lyrics is too good. And let me ask you, in comparison to Chronic, anybody else that have lyrics of the same nature that's not getting played in Jamaica to not see if it's just Chronic that single out.
I
Probably.
tell you what, let's have a look at what happens with Third World's new record, because that's certainly got a Rastafari message, which is unusual for them. We'll see if that gets any airplay. I mean, obviously the Marleys have been involved with the production on it, and it's a really good record. It'll
I
be
want to tell
very
you something.
interesting.
I want to tell you something to Chris. There's certain Jamaican artists which who have been around for a long time really couldn't care less if their music is played in Jamaica
there
or
you go.
played or get on any chart in Jamaica. They couldn't care less. And the reason why is Jamaica is 2 point something million people. There's over some how many billion people in this world. The funniest thing is that there are people out there who want to get their music to become number one in Jamaica and get on the chart in Jamaica, while Jamaican artist is trying to get their music to become number one outside of Jamaica.
Yeah, but
That's
I
true.
hear
That's
that,
very true.
but when you're not respected in your own country,
Hey, look at Bob Marley.
I
You know,
know,
Bob Marley is the milestone.
I know,
Bob
I
Marley
know.
is the yardstick for everything is going on. But how do we get some unity into this? Because people, if Jamaica, if you're listening to me, if we don't get it together as far as uniting together, you're going to be left behind.
Mr. Campbell, Mr.
Yo.
Campbell, give me a second there.
Mhm.
Look on this tune with this youth name, Omi. Do you
Mhm.
realize that it is not even being played in Jamaica?
Wow.
It is the
Wow.
biggest selling tune. It is the biggest impact tune for us as Jamaican, because
Mhm.
that song was remixed. It have Sly and Robbie and Dean Fraser that remix now and become a number one, selling and Billboard and number one all over the world in Germany. And there's no love for that song in Jamaica.
And what's the lyrical
None.
content?
Very motivating. It's very entertaining. It's not about religion. It's not about politics.
It's
It's
a
named
happy song.
Cheerleader. It's
It's
a
a happy
happy
song.
song.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you see,
That's what
This
it is.
supposed to be, listen up, this supposed to be an instant number one in Jamaica on every chart.
well,
Yep.
here's what fits right. Here's what fits right. Um, mindset of the people. Mindset of the people. 'Cause look here. I leave a decent neighborhood to go into the ghetto every day in Jamaica. I get to know all the different type of people. I get to know a whole bunch of ghetto people that become some of my closest friends, even more closer than the people in my decent neighborhood or uptown neighborhood in Jamaica. Some of the nicest people them. I want to tell you, I spend more time in Waterhouse than Jamaica. I only use in than Harborview really. I only used to go home, wash my face, or bathe, change my clothes, and come right back to around Waterhouse. Right? But it's the mindset of the people them. Some of the people them, and it has nothing to do with ghetto. It has nothing because you come from around here, you're a different individual than some of the people them that come from around here.
Yeah, that's
I don't want to blame it on slavery, right? Because I come from Jamaica, you come from, and we have different mindset. But some of the people, them, what inside of their mind that creating this unity, and then the thing that make it bad with the artists, them singing about one love.
All right.
That's
what gets me every time. That's what gets me every time.
What Roddy saying? I did right here, Roddy, a while ago. What are you saying, Roddy?
No, I said that's what gets me every time.
Yeah.
Because some of the artists them that get up every day and sing about unity are some of the artists them that is so
holy
yeah, no unity whatsoever as far as they're concerned, but them get up every day and them sing about it. Sorry, go ahead, Desert.
No, I was just gonna say to the fact that he's talking about Waterhouse and that sometimes you can find I don't want to say the area, but I was in a really bad area for a while living. And I used to have this guy who was a struggling musician, and he would come over and cook for me every day and talk about what he's going to do with his music. And this guy was the nicest guy ever. And if you come in this area, you would probably have to go, oh my God, I got to get out of here. Like, it's one of the worst areas probably in America. And I found some of the best people. But you sometimes is a situation of where you are raised. So now, like in Waterhouse, sometimes these bad guys want to make music because it's the only way out. And so it kind of breed the two together, and then the politics come in. So it's like a layered cake. If you look at a cake, it's many different layers to it.
I don't know if I would agree with the term only bad guys want to make.
Now, excuse me. More people saw music as a way to get out. If you were to say Elton Ellis is a bad guy, no. But some of the guys who came in the dance hall area and this and that, some of these guys were known criminals. So I'm just saying some people saw it as a way out.
But again, I see the opposite. I see where the music stops certain people from wanting to do certain things and change their lifestyle.
Of course, man.
Of course. Because the wife, Dan Carter was a postman before we started.
Right.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Was tea, bread and pipe.
Your mic breaking up, Fitzroy. Your mic breaking up.
I mean, Michael Rose, them, all them youth, the high school youth, were never involved in a crime and violence. Wayne Smith, them, none of them youth wasn't even half fine. The only youth who maybe involved in music where I could say that music saved his life is Junior Reid. Junior Reid, because when in our house in named Shati, he used to be around the Wales community where scientists was a gun era. So again, Junior Reid only artist from Waterhouse where music really take away from that environment. And see, because what is that music where Ross Michael
But again, as you see, some people, I hear what you're saying, Fitzroy, is a double-edged sword. I could have said I used to live in Waterhouse.
And I'm saying the 80s. And I'm saying about artists
some people, like I know Junior Reid from Dale, and him never.
Waterhouse.
Huh?
Because the whole era of our music in Waterhouse, there's no artist who really say we know if a boy through music make him, as I said, me can't tell you that. It's Junior Reid.
Yeah, well, Junior Reid is one. I know a couple other.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Waterhouse, that's a one who born. They have also come into Waterhouse away from their community. Coming to Waterhouse.
Yeah, well, Junior Reid is one example, but I know of other example where people come from other places, and it's hard to be done and you're a musician at the same time because you become a moving target.
Fitzroy, we can't hear you properly, and your mic's cutting in and out, so we're not even picking up when you want to come in a conversation.
I'm the same place where at, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe the internet. I think my phone is cut off. I'm gonna reconnect.
Yeah,
Can
I
I
think
just remind you guys about timing? We're into the last half hour now, so if
Can
you
I just say
guys want
something
to,
though about Waterhouse? So 1 minute before we go there, at that point, what I can also understand this. People used to take pride in King Tubby's studio at some point. You know, Don Carlos, these many people used to help protect King Tubby's studio because it was a pride of Waterhouse. So there was a unity at some point. Why it got lost, who knows? But a lot of people used to stick up for King Tubby's place, keep King Tubby's place from getting in trouble, watch it at nighttime when King Tubby's ain't even there and sleeping at home. Don Carlos is one of those guys. So there was unity in a place like Waterhouse.
I think with Dan Carlos, it's bigger thing than Dan Carlos. Because I
No,
can
but
tell
like I
you.
say, yeah, you don't know about Lucky. Lucky used to watch the place. No, I'm not saying just on Carlos. I'm saying the neighborhood. Fitzroy, I'm saying the neighborhood had pride. I'm saying about unity.
Lucky them
Unity.
beat.
Yeah, but listen to what this Fitzroy here is saying. There's other things that sit on top of
name Pulling them, because you can't tell all the bad man them from Waterhouse, right? Evil scientists that know them. One time them come to the era, them man they know who are coming to the era before. Look at them a little baby.
Yeah, lucky you have other people them who are where
I'm talking about the unity though. I'm talking about a bad area and that there's still unity in that bad area because we're talking about unity here. I'm just saying in a bad area like Waterhouse.
We're not saying that. No, we're not saying that.
But the epitome of the unity that saved a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. But Dan Carlos was a postman. That's why the man, the postman and come sick. Dan Carlos and gold. Because you Mundell, if you Mundell, him bring starting to Waterhouse before he be black hole. Because black hole, them used to dip on the corner and nobody even know, they just know so them a singer. You join a King Thomas, them used to come screech, come record. But you Mundell was the man who we say, material, them man, they was clean every day and him save even Junior.
Right, so Junior is best friend.
Life today.
Chris, can you give us a
yeah,
time check?
yeah, I'm giving you a time check now, guys. If we can round this up and maybe finish on some positive messages about joining together.
Well, we are a perfect example of the unity.
The reggae biz, what we, I don't think there's lack of unity, you know, because the unity exists, you know, it's just people need to be united to what is right. Because like what we're doing now is a way more. It's a precedent, you know, and that's how I
agree. I think we should encourage people to share their knowledge with one another and help one another to get their rights in place and to get protected in the right way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Whatever artist that's here listening now, please to tell other artists to go register your song in whatever territory you live, because that's where it begins. The artists have to register their songs.
It starts with you, the artist. Well, it's unfortunate that you know again, as I say, and I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, but you know I will always love Jamaica. Jamaica is my home, and I would love one day, even if it happens when I'm dead and gone, is to see the unity. Because if Jamaica ever unite, you look at the athletes, them, how united they are. You know, for one major cause. There's a great example. You know, but the problem started uh, 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 with politics, and the politics is what came in, what separated people in Jamaica, separated communities, separated neighborhoods.
Yes,
you know, and it eventually spring over into the music. That when I listened to some of the songs, I went the other day on YouTube and watched part of a Sting thing concert that going on. When I look at it, I said to myself, you know, God, that's exactly what is mashing up this music called reggae music. You know, the war lyrics, the gun lyrics, and man using profanity to other artists on stage. And, you know, I remember back in the days when Battle used to throw on stage and all. And I'm saying to myself, you know, this is music. Jamaica, the genre of reggae music, is one of the most powerful music on this planet. It changes people, it changes life. Me as a Jamaica, use reggae and turn things around and let us start unite.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Fitz. All right, okay. Yeah, but Roddy. Okay. Here's what happened. Outside of the music, right? The politician them destroy Jamaica and its spillover into the music.
Yep.
Because outside of the music, you find the community is not together. If outside of the music, if one person selling shoes, the next one selling shoes is a competition. Because they say the politician them when them see the music was bringing people together, them use the same music and destroy the people them, and is why them only pushing certain artists are pushing certain lyrics. No, the people them need to take personal responsibility. Hey, no politician can influence me,
Hmm.
right? I don't think they can influence you either, Roddy, or any of us here. So
Yeah.
after a while, it boiled down to the personal responsibility of the individual. We can do all we do been doing for the past so much weeks where we coming together and we take time out to educate other people. But we want the rest of artists them when them on the program to hear, we want them to be more active. And like it's one of the hardest thing to do amongst our people is to get them. You can blame it on slavery, you can blame it on racism. That only goes so much and no more. It's time for
Hmm.
people put apart all this other blaming or whatever you want to call it and come together and unite. Racism run on both sides of the coin. You have black races and you have white races. At the end of the day, I look at two set of people. You have good people and you have bad people. So don't blame it on anybody else but yourself. We need to get this thing here
Hmm.
together. We need to we need these artists to start practicing where you're singing.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And can we leave the conversation on that positive point, guys, and
Yeah.
move
Yes, we
over to
can.
the final section?
Okay.
I think that's a good positive message for people to sign up to Scientist.
Okay, for fine.
And so at this point, we're going to pass over to Lady G, and we're going to answer some of the audience's questions. Are you there, Lady G?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Roddy, did you already give us an update on the JCAP
Yes. I'm
oh,
waiting for. Yeah, I'm following up another article on um this whole issue of the lawsuit against the media houses. I'm still following them to see, what if there's any update on it and what's the outcome of it. But
okay.
you can go ahead.
Okay, well, maybe this section won't take long and then you can update us on that. But there were a couple of questions left over from last week that we weren't, because of time, we weren't able to get to them. And one of them said, and it was from Apache, and he said, what is the process for artists covering other artists' songs? Do the artists covering the original material not need to clear it with the original artist / producer first?
What territory is
Oh,
in?
I think we were talking about the set list, and a bunch of questions had come out of the set list
Yeah.
discussion. So, which is why we kind of pulled it over to this week as well.
Well, if it's in the U.S. and he going to do a cover song, he need to go through agents like Harry Fox.
I think that's the same in every country, at least in the very least. You should
Yeah.
be
Or
notifying the copyright holders so that they can register that version of it their own
And so,
as being.
but
no,
if
isn't
they're
that
Yeah,
at
no,
a
I
isn't
live,
was
that a
saying.
two
if they're doing a
isn't
live
that a two-part
performance,
thing? Wouldn't that answer for that question would be a two-part question? Because, and the reason why I say that is, one, if the artist is doing covering another artist's song but not putting up the song for sale anywhere, is one thing where you use the term or the word adaptation, which is a loophole. But if you're going to put the song up for sale, it's a whole different argument altogether. You have to
so
contact
what's
the
the
Yeah.
artist if
adaptation?
possible. You have to contact the publisher of that song, or the copyright company, whomever.
And you have to pay mechanical and how much of it you're going to
Right.
price.
And if you're putting the song for sale and you come to an agreement with the publisher of the artist's song that you're going to cover, and you tell them you're going to do 500 copies of that song, and you sell those 500 copies, you can't just go back and go print on your own 500 more copies. You have to go back to the artist or the publisher or their copyright company and do a different agreement on the second 500 copies.
As where Jamaica been getting themselves in
Into a lot of trouble.
because that rule has not been met.
You have artists from Jamaica right now who you have people are coming, lawyers are coming from the UK, coming down to them and from the USA, coming directly to them and said, here's what you need to do or else.
That happening right now, Roddy.
Yep.
But you see, Coxon started that, and I wonder what happened to Coxon Empire that made up so much cover songs.
Well, the problem is not that the cover song is the problem. You can do as an artist, you can cover a million artist song if you want. Where the game changes is when you put it up for sale.
I know, but you see, Coxon and them is not complying with the rule.
Yeah. Well, the rules of the game have changed, and it is far more serious than before. But again, as I said before, an artist can cover another artist's song. Where the game changes is when you put it up for sale.
You must obtain a mechanical license
That's
from an
right.
agency like a Harry Fox or so.
Yeah, so you can't just do
live performances.
Sorry?
You know, Mr. Campbell. Very important. I said this to you because I say all of me. Did you know that it's over 40 Jamaican artists cover that song and all of them is for sale?
Well, hopefully they go to the right channels.
None of them don't go to the right channel. I can assure you that 99.9% of them.
Because them themselves don't know what
artists can grant 40 artists to record us over a song. Even the Sam Smith tune. It gone about 33 right now recording and still I see recording it more.
Now the other thing too also, if a record company or a publishing company see a no-name artist from wherever just doing a cover version song, they're not going to lose any sleep over it. But let a name artist, let's say for example, a Jimmy Cliff or a Third World do, and I'm just using them as example. These are named international artists and others do a cover song. It's a whole different thing.
Because they know their attorneys know you're going to sue somebody who doesn't have any money. You ain't going to get any money.
So all is me, all of me, or all is me. If, as Fitzroy just say, if you have 50 Jamaican artists over that song, them going to look at it and go, well, we don't really know nothing about these artists, so them just promoting us and promoting the song and making more sale on the song.
But Fitzroy, if that no-name artist start to produce lots of numbers in sale,
it's a different game.
They will enforce it.
This is why a lot of the cover songs who Jamaican artists have done music videos for it and put it up on YouTube, they are being taken down.
Yeah, because that's the other thing about doing that and posting it up is to try and claim back any of the mechanicals that are available.
That's right. So a lot of them are being taken down and more are going to be taken down come 2016. A lot more. It's the business. It's the business. And what we're trying to do with this show is try and open people's consciousness to the business. Again, as I say, all of us on the panel, we're not geniuses. We know as much as we know. And this is why I will always remind everyone who is listening is to do your research. All this information is out there. Do your research. We just want to take time to bless up everybody in the chat room. Apache, 2164, 3700, 7693, 8897, Jan Niceness, Marsha, and Mr. Busby, and all the silent listeners out there. You're listening to the Reggae Biz Talk Show.
And then the other question is, how does internet radio deal with artists? Is it with PRS? First of all, tell people what PRS stands for and what it means.
That's a big subject, Lady G, because we touched on that before. It's about the difference between licensed and unlicensed, whether it's internet or not. There are licensed stations where they are paying license fees to the collecting agencies and providing playlists that artists are getting paid royalties on. And it's the same difference between mainstream and pirate FM stations. And what the artists have got to do is, if you want your music played, it's a bit like when Scientist was talking about YouTube. For promotional purposes, if it's going to those pirate internet stations or pirate FM stations, are you looking at it as promotion of your work and not expecting to get anything back because it's payment in itself? Or are you trying to place it with the license stations, which is difficult, where you will get royalty collection and it will be paid properly?
And just to further that question, what I would encourage every artist to do is check out Sound Exchange.
Yeah, that is where you get your performing royalty or PPL. It's for performance. Anytime your music get publicly performed, then you get to collect on it.
Yeah.
But only from those stations, internet or
That
whatever, that are registered.
that's registered, and is why I guess SoCan and them is under so much pressure now to keep up with the rest of the world,
Yeah.
because I think they realize how much cover songs been done. And when Askapar BMI look at it, if they have 500 cover songs been done by 500 Jamaican artists, they're looking at it at a couple $1,000 that the artist is missing out, and they themselves missing out on, because you
Yeah.
see, they collect money. They have an interest to go after this money because they get a percentage of it.
Yeah.
How much what's the percentage so can take when they collect for you?
I have to look into that.
I
I
think it's
knew
what
I know it, but I don't know it
what
offhand. I
10
have I
is
have
10.
a newsletter.
I think it's ten
It's
percent,
anywhere between 7 and 10.
7 and 10%.
Yeah.
So they want their 7 cents. They want
Well,
it.
they want it.
Yeah, they want their 7 cents. So they have an interest to go after it. But none of this happens if the artist doesn't know the business to go register your songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the first thing.
absolutely.
It's like you can't push it enough. It
That's where it
all
starts.
starts from where the artist day one, and why I said the rules need to get changed. It need to be mandatory rule that this is what have to be met on every release, and especially for new artists, they probably should have a different criteria of a law. If the first song the artist recording, any contract that is signed without a council, independent a council of an artist, cannot be upheld, because obviously this person is innocent. This person don't know what they're doing. If they don't change a law that the artists have to go get representation, then a crooked record company could rip off both the producer and the artist.
Yeah.
But coming back on the point is, wow, at this moment in time, it's sad, really, because we need those unlicensed stations to promote the music, because it's not really getting promoted elsewhere.
Well,
That's
it's a
true.
double-edged sword, as you say. If you're going to look for on YouTube as a way to promote yourself, then hey, you'd have to either give away 500 copy to somebody to know you. So kind of look at YouTube as a way to promote yourself. The problem with it, or what people must do, you should have some kind of a link referring back to your personal merchandise, your website, something, something, something that lead back the connection to you. So
Hmm.
YouTube is a double-edged sword. A lot of artists probably not getting paid off it, but hey, 500,000 people just learned about you, and now you
Yeah,
can try and make that money in merchandise or tours.
no, exactly. And that's a little bit of promotion. Like with the 45 I did, they put out just like a 30-second of each song mashed together in a little promo thing. So that's not a big deal to me. You know, it's promo. It's not a big deal to me. But like you said, and I think somebody else pointed this out before, it's like when you rightfully now are taking that and trying to duplicate it many times over, or rip stuff off YouTube and sell it. That's a different situation and trying to sell it.
Yeah, that's copyright theft.
Hmm. But does that answer the question, Lady G?
I suppose so. It was a question posed by Apache, so I guess he can let us know if it was answered.
I mean, from our perspective as a record label, we put music to licensed and unlicensed stations. The only thing that we do is we offer a little lead in with the licensed stations so that they get the song maybe a week, 2 weeks before the others, as a sort of reward for knowing that we're going to get some income back for the artists, you know. But we do need the unlicensed stations at the moment because there's not enough reggae music being played on other stations.
True.
You know, it's a sad situation, but it's the true situation, you know.
Yep. So we're time check. We are from my time. We're like 21,
we've
22
got,
minutes.
Yeah, we've got 10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes to go.
Whatever you want to talk about, guys. Unless there's any more questions, Lady G.
Yeah.
No, that was it.
I just want to say something quick after you finish, Lady G, concerning the granting of license to singing other people's songs, because I think Shaggy got through a little. I think Shaggy got through a little thing where him try request to do a song and he was denied, and he go ahead and do it, and then after a while because it becomes sellable and make a lot of money, them actually grant him the right. He was actually sued and he pay off that money, and everything was good. So it's a two-headed sword, as according to scientists. Even
you know what, Fitzroy, I can give you, I had some feedback from someone about that, where they actually said that the major record labels don't respond, or the major publishers don't respond to requests to do cover versions of songs, in the hope that you do record it and it does become successful because they can make more money off of suing you.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
true.
Oh, yeah. That's
It's true
true.
because you in breach right away. One of the mistake that Shaggy made, don't write them. Because if they write you, if you write them and they tell you no, right, that means you blatantly
Went
Right.
against them.
went against them.
Yeah, and it's in writing, like you said, Lady G, and it's in writing.
As we told you,
You'd be like, they'll probably call up their lawyer laughing.
yeah, you.
That's court evidence right there.
Yep, Your Honor. Guess what? We
Case
told
done.
him no.
Case
And
shut.
Shaggy, your lawyer is going to tell you, hey, Shaggy, you know what? You hanged yourself. So whatever they want, just give it to them. I'd settle out of court, Shaggy, because if you don't, they have it in writing that they told you no.
Yeah.
And they also have it. They also have it in writing that he responded.
Yeah.
And that's going back to it though too.
So it's
Like
kind of like by responding, he has cut off his nose to spite his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to strengthen Chris' point, yes, the liars, I must say, you know what? Let them do it, because when they violate, then usually we go and get an out of court settlement. The attorney is guaranteed attorney fees because they don't want to go to court. And every lawyer will tell you it's best to settle out of court, because
Oh yeah.
the in court is like you're playing Russian roulette.
For sure.
Not with one bullet in the gun either. With the gun fully loaded.
Yeah, with one spot empty.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a cautionary note there for everybody, isn't it? We touched on whether it's going to be sold or not. It's common. I would say it's common decency to at least contact the copyright holders and ask them if you can do it. You know, I think that's the right thing to do.
Well, let's examine this. Why would a copyright holder tell someone, no, you can't use my song if they're going to pay?
No, because and then what they can do is register that copy of the song against them. So if it gets radio play and it gets any kind of public performance, even if it's not out for sale, they still get their royalty entitlement back.
So what you're saying, they have more of an interest to accept it, right?
I would suggest so. You know, I mean,
but here's why they enforce that is why they're saying you need a license, because suppose some people is anti-abortion and some people is anti-gay, and You want to use, say, a Rastaman song and you put it into abortion
Exactly.
commercial or a song about a commercial.
But that's where the common decency comes in, isn't it?
Right,
Is,
right.
you know, I mean, it should be, that should be the proper unified approach to doing that particular subject. You know, all right, you're honouring the person by doing the cover song, but at least ask permission and get permission and let them know the details of the release if it's released, so that they can register it and get their entitlement.
Yeah, because the person probably don't want their song in an anti-gay song, or anti or abortion or anti-abortion.
Well, it might just even be as much as saying that they don't want anyone else to cover it.
To cover it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's their song.
It's their song. It might be as simple as that.
If you look at it, and you flip the coin over, it could be very well you, the artist.
Of course,
it could do.
You know,
especially if it's a worse version.
Yeah, it could.
Right.
You know, it could happen to you, the artist. So if the shoe was on the other feet,
right,
you know, you would want whoever is going to cover your song to be respectful to you, the artist, to go through the proper channel to cover your song. So if you're going to cover somebody else's song and you're going to put that song up for sale being the operative word, then go through the proper channel.
Of course, because if it was you don't want to know, say, if somebody is going to cover your song, that you're going to get money, especially if it's somebody that have some international recognition.
That's right.
You'd like get paid. Why wouldn't you not want to get paid?
Well, you need to. That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, but guys, if I can bring the show to a close and just ask anybody in turn to summarize and give out a message to the public ourselves.
Go back to Roddy.
Well, are you going to go first, scientist? Do you want to give
I'm going to echo what Roddy been always saying. And what it starts from registering your songs.
Absolutely. I think we're all in agreement with that.
You know, and that's what ASCAP said too. And if you go to the first thing they say in their little repertoire, I guess about them, they say, if you don't register it, we can't help you because we don't know about it.
Well, it's only common sense, you know, because when we listen to all the interviews that go on, and I'm going to say this real quickly, we listen to all the interviews that go on with General, and every day I hear it, and it breaks my heart. You know, just this past Wednesday, I was talking to Carlton Livingston, you know, and it's later on in Carlton's career that he came into the knowledge of this old business side of the music. So what we're doing is reaching out to the younger generation now, younger artists and musicians and producers, is to take the time to understand the business, because you can't go around it. You cannot go around it. This is 2015, and the laws change every day. As technology change, so does the laws of music. And you have to understand that. And if the sooner you understand that, the better as artists you'll understand the business side of it. But it starts with you registering your music. That's where it starts. It don't start in the studio. The studio is just a means to an end.
Can I just say there about we bang on about registering it with a registering agent, you know, ASCAP, JCAP, all the other. But remember, the very first point of copyright is to do what's been done traditionally, and that's to send the lyrics and whatever back to yourself by registered mail as well.
Yes, the Berne Convention and members of the union does recognize and uphold what they call a poor man copyright, where you register it and mail it to yourself.
You've got to do that first. As far as the collection agencies go, they'll protect that song for you and collect any money that's due against it. But you've still got that first poor man's, which everybody should do. Everybody should do the poor man registration themselves.
They call it a poor man copyright in America.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just think it's a sensible thing to do, even if it's just from a lyric writing point of view.
Yeah. But with the internet now, one good thing about YouTube, that it could be used as a poor man copyright.
Yes, it can. Anything can be. Facebook, any way that you publish it. And on the internet, you've obviously got a date stamp. So that's another way of doing it. But if you think that maybe a lot of people are not on the internet as well, that are in the music side of the business, you know.
If you're a songwriter, well, let's see, the time that it's going to take it to put it on the internet is the same time it's going to take it to put it in ASCII or so.
It's so simple. I'm telling you, if you go into, like, I wish somebody could go bring the form up. I wish we could bring the form up for the listeners. But it's so simple. And there's optional information. There's basically like a 6 things you just really need to know that are mandatory. Otherwise, it's all optional. It's not like it's a big legal process and many papers. It's literally like click, 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 click. You done.
You done. Yeah. So
but you have to be on the internet to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you do. And they do say, like, I just went up and signed for my own publishing side of it. You know, I do the writing side of it, and I have been slacking on it, but I did the publishing side of ASCAP, where now I can control my music on both sides.
How much it cost you? I think it was $20 back.
$50. $50.
$50.
Not bad. One time fee to be a writer, one time fee to be a publisher. You register your name, boom, 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 answer a couple questions, you're done. I mean, it literally took me no more than 15 minutes.
Yeah. So it go right back to what Roddy and what we've been saying. Register the songs.
Yep.
Yeah, register the songs.
Because when you register your song, not only are you registering your song, you're also registering yourself. You're registering your image, everything about you. When you register and you sign up with if you're in Jamaica with JCAP, you're registering everything about you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it's just so simple. I mean, they have a spot for your musicians who's involved in it. I mean, it's just, you can't. It's too simple. It's too simple to not have somebody go be able to do that.
Well, you know what I think they should do? The law should change.
Mr. Moderator, the show continue because
I know. So
I want to make a conclusion and resume back my cooking. Because today is Jamaica match and I need to done cook.
Okay.
What time?
Go ahead.
I think it's 7:30. I think it's 7:30 Eastern time, and you know.
Yeah, we're ready to close. Yeah. So if Fitzroy goes,
Yeah, well, I want to thank the panel. Very nice conversation, and you know, it was very educative as usual. And as I must say, the reggae biz is the epitome of this unity that I speak about in industry, and we will keep conveying it to who want to learn, who wish to learn. Log on to the Reggae Biz show every Sunday.
Tell your friends
in 2 weeks' time. Tell your friends. Tell the whole industry, or tell everybody in the industry that this is the waymark right now to the business of music.
True.
And have a happy Sunday. I love you all. 10-star General. Well, I know you say you're sick, but please get well quick, and we talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll miss your voice.
Okay, Fitzroy. Have a blessed Sunday.
Bless up.
All right, thank you very much.
Bless up.
Lady G,
all right, Lady G, Roddy Campbell, Chris Boozer, everybody, and all the listening public. Thank you all.
Bless.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Lady G, did you want to sum up?
Yeah, just to mention that we were supposed to have a guest today, Michelle Arthurton, and circumstances beyond her control came up, so she's postponing her appearance on the show. But I just want to tell people who she is. She's the CEO of MEA Productions. They're a concert promotions company, and they deal with booking artists for shows and such, music publishing, royalties and copyrights. And they're out of Brooklyn. And, very, very involved in the community, very, very involved at the grassroots level of helping artists with their publishing, copyrights, etc. And so we look forward to having her, on another date. And
yes,
I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, and appreciate you once again for listening in to the message show. I'm sorry, good Lord, I'm not having a good day with names today, am I? The Reggae Business Talk Show.
Well, it's a message. Well, the message show. It's the message of Reggae Business. Hey, Eddie G is the message of Reggae Business.
There you go.
Guys, I'll wish you all well and I wish I won't be on the next show. So all good luck with the next show. So, and I hand over to Rudy to close us down.
Have a great week, everyone. Have a great what's left of the day. Another great show. A lot of information again as usual, and we can't stress enough. Artists, go get yourself all registered and sign up, and take it from there. Stockade Radio, a member of the Conscious Partners, saying, "We're out."
We're out. Next time, people.
Peace.
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 The information given on this radio program is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. You're in tune to Stockade Promotions Radio and the Reggae Business Talk Show. You're in tune to Stockade Promotions Radio and